So welcome everybody. Some of you, I think we already met. I see some new names, if I'm not mistaken. So hi to everybody from my part. My name is Petra. And we will spending some time together for the rest of this week. So every day from 9 till 1. So welcome to the sprint workshop. It's basically a 5-day workshop, very intensive. Usually takes place all day and during 5 days because of the remote part we have had and the shortened time span that we have available. We had to rearrange some things and adjust the schedule. But basically, it's a 5-day process which is designed to help teams like you to solve big challenges. Like the one that you actually have on how to set up the interactive web collaboration platform. So it's done very collaboratively, teamwork with my facilitation. So basically, it helps to validate some new ideas that come up and to improve some ideas very quickly and efficiently. So it can be used to existing products and services, but also to new ones as we are going to use it now. Before we start, any questions from your part? Has anybody participated in sprint workshops before?
I did just for small workshops, so maybe half a day but not long, let's say, workshops.
Okay. Just not to forget to mention, we are recording this meeting so that everyone is aware, just for the purpose of the project. Okay. Okay. Just a second. So we're here, and let me. Okay, I will just shortly share the presentation so that we can. Sorry. Okay, everybody sees, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so just shortly to go through the how and what shall we do. So basically it's an online design sprint. We will have two design sprints, one now and one at the end of the October, last week of October. Basically here we are going to tackle the interactive web collaboration platform, and after gathering all the insights and so following the steps for of the design print, we should by the end of the workshop come up with a skeleton with actually idea how this interactive web collaboration platform should look like, what categories, what basically what pages, what parts should include, what kind of functionalities, etc. So everything that could be useful in the future. And on the next one, we will tackle more the innovation hub. So how we will work, agenda, you all received it via email, just quickly to repeat. So every day from 9 to 1, every day we have a set of activities according to the sprint methodology. So coming from, let's say, this research phase, which we're more going to do today. So including defining the long-term goal and mapping the key stakeholders and some actions that they are doing, so that we have more understanding have a mutual understanding of from which point we are going and which challenges we are trying to solve the most. Ask the experts is the part where we are going to do some interviews. I've asked everybody prior to this workshop to complete the survey, the short questionnaire, and short exercise with homework, let's say. I received only 3 parts, so we will include today, as I understand that your schedule is really packed, some 15 minutes for this, so that, because this is also a way that we can gather more insight. So, and Ask the Experts comes later after the first break. And here we are going to do a round of interviews. So with each, let's say, main group of the stakeholders. So I would need, so that you already know and count that we will need you, someone from the, let's say, decider part. So it's someone who is responsible for the project. I believe it's Matteo or Željka, whoever you say, who has enough information and enough about everything and can give us more detailed insight. And also would be useful to have someone interviewed from the researcher or institute or a researcher authority, and someone from university, and someone from the business sector. So someone representing business sector. So could you, Željka, then maybe decide, it doesn't matter, it can be anyone, there's no right or wrong person, but you know people on the team the best, so that we know who we can interview. Every interview should last around 15, maybe maximum 20 minutes.
Well, I don't know if partners want to, we will do from our side, and from the universities, maybe Faust or Guido. I don't know which one of them wants to. I don't know who's here.
Okay, Faust or Guido, someone from business?
From
part?
business is Gianni or Marco.
Okay,
Francesca maybe for the researcher, if she likes. I don't know.
Okay.
Do we need someone who? I
think
that
it's going to be. I think it's going to be enough, because at any point, anyone who wants to add something should be free to add. So we just need one expert. From this, from the point of this sprint, all of you here are actually experts, and all of you are involved in the. Usually sprints are maybe smaller, so there are 7, 8, 10 people the most. So we don't definitely, even in the normal agenda time, to interview everybody, but someone who can, from their perspective, give an overview, and then if anybody sees something to add, so it's very interactive, and please just think of it as a very interactive workshop. Okay, thank you. We will come to this then later. So let me come back to the agenda. So, and we have breaks, which we are targeting at 10, at 11:30. So short breaks, because lunch break is then at 1 when we finish. Everybody okay with this?
Fine, yes.
Okay, if no problem with somebody needs some bigger break or something, just let me know. We'll see if we can incorporate somehow. So just to be clear about the scope of the sprint. So in the scope is to gather insights from potential users. So all of you are actually here, and the experts and potential users. Research of trends and best practices in area of collaboration platforms. So we will tomorrow look at some different collaboration platforms from different industries, etc., to see also some inspiration of functionalities and the ways they work. I will share some, and you will actually also have let's say homework to collect some of the things that inspire you, or the things that you find interesting, but we will come to that later in the day. Then we will define needs and standards for the new interactive web collaboration platform that should be answering the challenges that you face in your area of work. And also it will include a lot of teamwork in proposing ideas and solutions aligned with these user needs and industry trends. So out of scope is proposing any actual vendor or platform as such. Also, due to the very constrained time that we're working, we will not do the high fidelity prototype. We will do the prototype in a more simple way, let's say. And also we will not do the extensive testing because in normal sprints, the last day is basically dedicated to the testing and collecting all the inputs from potential users and seeing how we can iterate and what can we modify. But since we had to, as I mentioned, adjust the agenda to the online and shortened time span, you will be able to comment, of course, but we will not do the extensive testing with the rounds of interviews and everything that normally takes part. Okay, so before we go to the real work, any questions so far?
No, so far everything is clear.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll start with just one small activity for all of us to maybe share some positive thoughts and get to know each other a bit better. Since you're not a new team, that's we need to know each other much better. So just maybe share one small moment of success you experienced recently. It could be anything from personal, business area, anything from your work or personal relations, or your some small victory or small success that you experienced recently. We can actually discuss. No need to write.
Okay, I can start. It's Relka speaking. So I would say something regarding the project is that we finally managed to organize a live event in Bari. It was a living lab training, so we got the opportunity to see each other in Bari and spend 3 great days on a great workshop. And also gather some useful information that will be great for creation of our living lab methodology.
That sounds really exciting and like a real success in today's time.
Yes.
Great, thank you, Jelka. Somebody else? So some small success that you experienced lately.
But recent, you mean recent, or just related to the project, or other?
No,
things?
it doesn't have to be related to the project at all. You can share whatever you feel like.
Actually, so I don't know if someone else is speaking, but actually I can share that yes, we presented a proposal for just be included in a, let's say, activity for maximization of let's say towards green transition in May, and then we worked together with another cluster in order to make some activities, let's say at Italian level, and we at the end we were selected to doing this activity with some experts. So this was a good result, let's say, for us.
Very good. Very good. Thank you.
May I, Francesca speaking from CNR. Yeah, I would like to share with you this success for us. In June, we had an hackathon with Deltares, that is a research center in yes, and we had this workshop with also an hackathon on the software modeling software for the river Delta Sea systems, and it was a really nice experience in terms of involving the end users and the stakeholders with this hackathon on this topic. So I like to share this experience because I never been involved in an hackathon before, so it was a really nice experience for us. So that's it.
Great. So some new approach that you learned also and participated. Okay, somebody else. So anything. So it could be some new skill that you gained, some good meeting that you held, whatever, from your personal area or from a business area or related to this project or not. So some small moment of success, whatever, that you experienced.
Can I say something?
Marco, yes.
I'm Marco from Geomar from Croatia. We are a small hydrographic office, and I can say that we recently did some very nice and successful hydrographic jobs, surveys, and decided even to improve our job and to go to the next level of our hydrographic technology and to exchange our multi-beam system to the new one. So maybe this successful jobs and this decision is the good moment for us.
Good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sounds like a next step in your work.
That's it. That's it for me. From me.
Ciao Marco.
Ciao.
Okay, don't be shy.
May I? Hi. I'm Eleonora from University of Padova. We organized together with the Union Camere del Veneto. This is something which is not related to InnovaMare. A webinar on artificial intelligence very recently. It was for a path of digitalization for SMEs, and this small success is based on, in the middle of July, we were able to gather about 60 people attending the webinar, listening for 3 companies and a colleague talking about this new topic for SMEs. It was very interesting also for the interaction that we have. And that's it. Thank you for listening.
Great. Excellent. Was this the first time you organized this kind of webinar, or just the topic was the new one?
Well, the topic was the new one. We had another series of webinar last year. So this is so we recontacted, again, the companies that attended last year, but we had also new ones. So it was a new series, let's say, of webinar. But the topic is very, it's very challenging. There are more and more curiosity on that. So I think it's also about very interesting to discuss with real case study.
Yeah, great. Sounds very interesting, definitely. Okay, thank you, Eleonora. Okay, there are still more people to share their small successes.
Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Valeria from Bari.
Morning.
And I would like to share something slightly different as a personal little success, which is the fact that very recently I had the experience to be able to manage a family grief with continuous engagement and commitment in my job and in all the relations of my life.
My condolences, and really it's a really great that you mentioned how your success is your strength.
I think that is something that important, very important for all human beings. And usually we always think that our professional results are something that go, I mean, slightly on the side of what is happening in our life, which is, of course, is never the case.
It's never the case.
So that's, I think that's important. I mean, to, of course, to show strengths in these moments, and also to share with other people, because I think that sharing is also part of getting more strength. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing this. Okay, somebody else? Okay, I think we haven't heard from others, Guido, Alessandro, Christian, Carlo.
Ciao Petra.
Ciao.
I am now I'm connected with my computer, but I'm struggling to connect with my phone because I need my computer free. And so I was, connecting and reconnecting for the last 20 minutes. So sorry, but I haven't, been able to follow the first minutes of the event. So I will catch up later. So sorry for that. I'm still trying to connect my phone because the audio is not working. Terribly sorry for that.
Okay, no problem. If you need some more minutes, just hope you manage to fix everything. Okay. Anybody else would like to share some small moment of success? Anything that you experienced recently? Okay, let's move on then. It's not an obligatory, but just to put some light on how you experienced success, and to start on a positive note. Okay, so the first thing that we actually need to do today is define the long-term goal of the project. I will send you everybody the Jamboard. So this is something that we will be using throughout the day for different set of activities. So link is in the chat. And basically we need to align on the long-term goal of the project. So basically we already did discuss this, I mean, not that we discussed, but the long-term goal, as far as I understood from presentation of the project, and after talking to Matteo, is to develop, and please correct me if I'm wrong, to develop and set up an innovation ecosystem model in area of underwater robotics and sensorics for purpose of monitoring and pollution prevention in the Adriatic Sea.
Yes, that is the main scope of the project.
Okay, so, and can we just from your own area just discuss shortly from everybody's point of view, so that you share anything else if you would like to add to this long-term goal?
In which sense do you mean? With our knowledge or with project activities, or?
So basically, it's a long-term goal that I understood long-term goal of the project as set up. So from everybody that you are here, is there anything else that you would maybe like to add in a long-term goal? So how do you see if this project was going on? Actually it is. Why are you doing, why we are doing this project, and where do we want to be in some 6 months or a year or 5 years from now? So basically looking from that point,
so in 6 months,
what do we want to achieve?
Yeah, in 6 months we want to have this interactive web platform finished. That is the, let's say, goal in the next 6 months. And to achieve that, we are having different activities. And some of those activities are this workshop. We also had the one in Bari. And we are working now, we are finishing the Living Lab methodology. That is also the part of this innovation ecosystem. So that would be like a guidelines on what do we want to achieve, and should help us how should we achieve that. Also some of the activities, maybe Fausto could present one of the deliverables that he and Ismar, Francesco from Ismar, are working on.
Mm-hmm.
That is the one from the VP5, and it's called, that is the preliminary conceptual design of the multifunctional robot and sensor. So
okay.
Maybe they can give, that is the next step in the activities of the project.
Hi, hello, this is Fausto.
Okay.
Yes, we are working on that, but it has been a bit complicated because we were in Bari and now we have this workshop. So this week in the afternoon, we'll be able to finish the deliverable. Mm-hmm. We have all material, but we are missing some writing of it. Basically, in this deliverable, we are explaining which type of robots and sensor solutions we are proposing for the project. We have both robots from CNR and from FAIR, and we have surface vessels, so non-autonomous normal boats, let's say, from Geomar that we will also include on the deliverable. And we also did a mapping between robots and use cases where they can be used. This was also included in the infographic, and now we'll include in the deliverable table of matching between robots and use cases.
Okay. Okay, sounds very interesting. So you will be able to share this from tomorrow on, right?
No. I mean, I can share the screen and show you a bit of the things, but I can share the use case document before, yes, but the whole deliverable wouldn't be ready by tomorrow, I believe.
Okay,
it's still a bit
of work to be done. I mean, for the purpose of the platform, it's not.
Sorry, Fausto. Maybe we can share, if artists agree, we can share the infographic.
Yeah, no, yes,
because
that's for sure,
I think this it would be very, very informative in any case, and we can discuss or use it to discuss. It's more easy also instead of the deliverable.
The infographic.
No, that's why I wanted to say the whole deliverable is probably it's too detailed for this purpose of the sprint and all the discussions, because you have separate discussions on this topic. But to get some more overview, if there is something like this that you find interesting to share, it's definitely. But we can share it then also maybe when we do the interviewing. Is it okay then to include it?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, great. So
also regarding the interactive web platform, we had the focus group where we have discussed with different stakeholders what will be the main functionalities and the target groups of the interactive web platform. So that happened last week, and we will have, and now we have sent all the data to the web developers, and the next one will be held in September, when we will have more details and more concrete results. regarding the interactive web platform, because we have decided already what should be the main functionalities. That will be marketplace, map of excellence, community, different funding solution, counseling, innovation hub. So that will be the things that will be available on our interactive web platform. And regarding the target groups in InnovaMare Innovation Interactive Web Platform, there will be scientists, scientific institutions, companies, local and regional government, innovators, public institutions, and such.
Okay.
Those are some of the things that we have discussed on the focus group.
Mm-hmm. So this is something that definitely we should include. I mean, this is something that we're actually supposed to also define during the sprint workshops about the functionalities, concrete functionalities, and actually the point of including this group and having the sprint is to set it up and to actually really see how this would work and interact and what categories we would include. So I believe this would be very useful to share then if it's okay with you, so that we have this for tomorrow.
Yeah, we wanted to also see from different stakeholders their perspective on the web platform. That's why we had it. So.
Yes. Okay. No, that's great if you managed to do it because all of this can help us to get the complete picture and include actually the needs of everybody. Because normally in the sprint project that we would be doing, we would have this part of the research also done before. So yeah, great.
Okay.
So okay, we can then align on why we are doing this project. So on the long-term goal that you already defined, I tried to get some other insights from the questionnaire, but as there are not many answers, basically we can conclude then to develop and set up an innovation ecosystem model in area of underwater robotics and sensorics for purpose of monitoring and pollution prevention in the Adriatic Sea. So I'm updating this all in the Jamboard, so we can discuss. I can go to the Jamboard. Sorry. I've sent a link to the Jamboard. So basically, in 6 months, the idea is to have an interactive web platform finished. These are some activities that I will just group that have already been done. And also somebody mentioned that the goal is to better understand how the stakeholders can be more involved in the co-design activities and how better involve them in science-driven activities. So it's also part of the actually, but this is with the long-term goal that is already set up is to it's more specific, I would say. So when we're talking about the innovation ecosystem, it's supposed to be connecting all the stakeholders, but also somebody, I think Francesca, if I'm not mistaken, has mentioned that also what the purpose or which challenge we were solving is to better understand how the stakeholders can be more involved in the co-design activities. Okay, would anybody like to add something for the long-term goal? No, okay. Let me see. I would suggest now we have 15 minutes until the end, until the break, that we use these 15 minutes, if it's okay with you, to fill the questionnaire that I've sent, so that I can so I can include it during the break in the rest of the Jamboard, because this is also part of the research that we were supposed to do before the workshop. I think 15 minutes should be enough. It's not a long questionnaire, and I believe you can do the both. Is that okay with you?
For me, it's fine.
Let's then spend this 15 minutes, because we align on the long-term goal. After that, we will discuss the sprint questions, which actually we will have to define. So let's say more on a pessimistic view, what could go wrong and what are some risks that we might face. So, but also some of these are already in the questionnaire. So is it okay that we spend the 15 minutes now until the break? So we have a break at 10 to 10:15. I can send you again if you need links which need to be filled in the chat. Okay.
Okay.
Here I'm sending the link to the questionnaire so that that we have this filled, and then I can use the break time to see if something interesting pops up from here as well.
Petra, Eleonora speaking. I apologize. I filled the questionnaire this morning, so I don't know whether it is counting the 3 that you mentioned or not. But just to
I see. Yeah, from the last night there is something also something, one new answer. I think
it's
yours.
mine. So
yeah,
thank you.
Okay, so it's 2 links. One is for the questionnaire and one for the assignment. All together, those of you which have fulfilled it, 15 minutes is enough, right?
Oh, yes, sure.
Okay, so then please, we'll meet at 10:15 again. After you finish the questionnaire, we have a short break. I will use then this time just to gather all the insights that you already have, and we will continue to the defining sprint questions, and moving on then to mapping key stakeholders and interviews. Okay. So links are in the chat, and we'll see each other at in half an hour at 10:15. So this is both the time for the break. Okay, see you. Hi, everyone. We are back.
Hello.
Hope you had the time to fill the form and also have a short break. So thank you for everybody who filled the questionnaire and the tasks. I've included some of them to the documents that we will be using throughout the day. The rest, okay, some still come, will come. So it's a live document. We will come back to this. Anything that we do today, we can still update. So, but it helps to gather more inputs from you and have it more structured, so I can also add it later on during the day. Okay, so let's get back to where we took off. So just let me go back to the Jamboard. So basically we agreed on the long-term goal of the project. I'm now on the Jamboard, so you'll have a link. You can also maybe actually, sorry, I can share the screen, just maybe easier like that. Okay. So the long-term goal, we agreed we are not, it's already defined by the project and everybody's agreed with that. So also I've listed some activities that have been done so far, more regarding to the goal of this sprint. So basically the sprint goals are more specific and they're related to the platform. So it's to develop the InnovaMare platform, to agree on main functionalities and stakeholders and the visual of the page. And also in numbers, it's, let's say it's in 6 months we have interactive web platform finished. So anything else that you would like to add for the sprint goals? I mean, they are the obvious, is to develop the InnovaMare platform. But actually what we said also, which is in the scope, to agree on main functionalities and stakeholders and visual of the page. So when anybody else likes to add here, just for the sprint goal specific. No, okay, then let's move on to the next topic. So basically we have to define the sprint questions. What does it mean? It means, okay, now we're very optimistic on the long-term goal of the project and the goals of the of this sprint, but we just want to come also to the end, to have an overview. So what are the questions that we actually want to answer? And what has to be true to meet our long-term goal? So our long-term goal basically is to develop and set up an innovation ecosystem model that we mentioned in the area of underwater robotics and sensorics. So what has to be true in order to reach this goal? And let's say we're really traveling to the future and imagining it maybe in 1 year time. If this project was a disaster, let's say, which of course it will not be, but let's imagine it if it was a disaster, what might have caused it? So what might have gone wrong? What are some potential risks that might occur? So let's just think for ourselves for a minute or two. If you have something else that pops to your mind, jot it down, and then we will comment it together. So what are the questions that we want to answer with this sprint? What has to be true to meet our long-term goals? And let's imagine if something went wrong, what actually was the cause of the disaster?
Sorry, Petra, should we have to write in the sprint goal page?
No, just think for yourselves. You can write it on a piece of paper, and then you discuss and update in the Jamboard.
Okay.
I'm currently using my phone at the moment, so I cannot access also to the Jamboard. I'm taking, let's say, note mentally, and then I will jump in the discussion while I move in another office where I can participate more actively than I would.
Okay, okay, whatever suits you the best then.
So we should just keep in mind this and then revert to you later?
No, we will come back. Just a minute or two was supposed to that you think for yourselves, and then let's discuss all together now.
Okay.
So sprint question. So would anybody else like to add something to share? So what are the questions that we want to answer? So we can rephrase it also, any assumptions that you have or any obstacle that you face into question. So basically what needs to be true to meet our long-term goal, or any possible cause of a fail of the project. So something that might go wrong that you see as a risk that you would like to share. So please, the time now is that you can share it.
I can share maybe how could we stimulate involvement of target stakeholders in a platform?
Mm-hmm.
This could be an important issue.
Mm-hmm.
So continuous involvement. So try to define tools and activities to understand what are their needs, priorities, and help them to find it useful to be involved and active in the platform.
Okay, so basically, so we will see, will we be able to stimulate continuous involvement of all stakeholders, right? Basically.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
If I can add up on what...
This is very important, because not only if we have a platform that looks very nice and has all these nice categories and functionalities, if people are not continuously involved, then it will eventually die. So, like, okay, somebody else?
Yes, I would like to add to Carlo that one precondition, that is an internal precondition for having people involved, is that we have time to involve people, to create projects, activities, and that's difficult. If I look at my agenda, it's very hectic, and so we would need full-time people dedicated to the activity, and that would be great in terms of resources. Full-time people dedicated.
You're referring to the people who would manage the platform in that sense, or?
Exactly.
Okay, so yes, you do have projects, you do have assignments, but you're actually working on them. So you're afraid that all of you stakeholders might not have time to actually manage the platform.
Great, 100%.
Ah, okay. So basically, we'll phrase it and I will put it on the Jamboard. Will we have resources, like human, to manage platform? Because this is a big risk, even if we have it, even if you have great projects, if they are not updated, if all information are relevant and are not up to date for everybody to see, like any other platform or any portal that we use, if we don't have information that's that are up to date, accurate, speedy, let's say in time manner, then the purpose of it just fails, and then therefore the interaction and the commitment fails. Okay, we'll phrase it as a question and put it also.
Petra, if I add on what Guido is saying, I think one of the risks is to not provide immediate reward to the participant, or so to understand that there are different stakeholders with different needs, and the platform should provide some value. So the main risk is that is perceived, as useless. So we are working too much, and then the platform is not used. So what Carlo and Guido were saying. So to try to understand exactly what could be also the immediate benefit that the different users of the platform can get from that.
Okay, this is something actually that we might have one discussion during this sprint. So it's nice to discuss functionalities, of course, and we need to, but also to see, because through the benefits and through this is why we are doing all of this, although at the start of the print, as any other design thinking approach, it seems like we're not moving anywhere, but we are actually collecting all the data that might be useful to actually get to a solution that is relevant. So
if I may also add something, it's Željka. Maybe we can also think about marketing strategy. How will we advertise our platform? I think that's also an important part. So people need to hear for our platform. So how we will manage that?
Okay, so also we will phrase it as a question: will stakeholders hear about the platform? Which relates to the marketing strategies. Okay. Benefits for different stakeholders. Okay. I would phrase it then: will it be perceived as useful? And I will write it down just after if anybody else has something to add. So we mentioned will we have human resources to manage the platform? Will platform provide value to all stakeholders? Will it be perceived as useful, which is connected also? Will stakeholders hear about the platform? So we'll have to think about the ways and marketing strategies how to get to the relevant stakeholders, and also will be able to stimulate continuous involvement of all stakeholders.
If I can add just one thing, is Valeria speaking. I think that say one of the risks that we have with the development of the InnovaMare platform is that in this case the web collaborative platform is not just about project management. This is let's say a platform that it could be particularly useful for the implementation and the results of the project. So therefore, I think that there are lots of things that could be hosted in this platform, and that is something that we should take into account. Managing a project is something, but then the implementation of the project is something completely different. And as I can see, so far have been developed thousands of tools regarding project management. But a platform that is an interactive platform of stakeholders and partners of a project. So actually to be a space, in fact, for sharing, making decisions, finding new solutions, or finding solutions together, particularly. That is the big challenge that we have.
Okay, I understand. I think, as I understood, part of it, of course, it's already intended with the platform to be able to share some ideas, but maybe we are also talking before or during the projects, but you're also talking during the actual implementation, where still some decisions need to be done and results shared, etc. Because only when we start implementing, then we also have some new insights. Is that
yes?
Is understood correctly? So okay, how could we phrase it actually? Will the platform be useful in the project implementation phase as well? Can we phrase it? Does this sound like a sprint question that we might phrase it like this?
Yeah.
So in the implementation phase, not just project management. I mean, as far as I understood, and do correct me if I'm wrong, so the intention is not to have the platform as a project management tool. It should help projects that are rolling and some projects to get to roll, as far as I understood. But also you will be using like Monday, for instance, or some other project management tools that you use anyhow for the projects.
Yeah, let's say the project management is to get activity done and then, be on time, and then, let's say the communication about project communication, etc. Then a step forward, of course, is to see project results, and then eventually, of course, to improve even, the performance of the project itself.
Okay.
Yes, as Valeria said, so web interactive platform is actually one of the activities of the project, and it's part of the project implementation. And through the platform is going to be a place where the different stakeholders will be able to present their work, their knowledge, to find different challenges that they could solve with their expertise, to show their solutions at the market, and to find some funding opportunities for their ideas. And then for this project particularly, we do use some project management tools like Monday. But web interactive platform is just activity of the project.
Okay, now Željka, that you mentioned also this, I would phrase this also as questions. So no matter how obvious they might seem, but these are the questions that we can come back to during the sprint and see if we actually answered them through the workshop. So also I would add, will stakeholders be able to share their knowledge? And then we will tackle how, in which ways, and how effective this might be. And will stakeholders be able to find funding? So does that sound okay?
Okay.
Because these are the questions that we need to all include in the sprint, and then we can come back to them. Okay. Anybody else would like to join? Add some more perspective, or?
Can I ask one question?
Yes, of course.
Well, my question would be: will that interactive web platform will be, let's say, well designed in sense that it should be simple and accessible for all stakeholders who are involved in the project and has to make some interactive changes or inputs? So
well designed and, let's say, user friendly.
User friendly and designed, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The simplicity. I'm thinking about simplicity.
Okay. Will it be simple to use? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important because no matter what we do, if it's not user-friendly and not well designed. Okay, we will put this as well because it's an important part of the platform.
When you see, for example, Monday is a little bit, for me, it's a little bit confusing platform.
Okay, we will add this as well as then.
Can I add also something?
Yes, of course. Petra?
Yes, I also mentioned in that questionnaire this user-friendly. I think it's very important. And the other thing that I would just like to add is maybe, just to put, let's say, enough information, but not also too much information. I don't know if that's the correct aspect, because when you have sometimes these platforms, I mean, actually to decide what informations are really relevant and important, and not to put too much in it, because this can also sometimes be, let's say, counterproductive. I mentioned something like that in what I sent, but I just wanted to make a follow-up on Marco in this regard. So really shortly from me.
Okay, so also by designed well and user-friendly, so that really it's
simple, functional,
simple, intuitive,
and concrete.
Yeah, to use, but also the information. So maybe we can phrase it: will the level of information be just right, not too excessive, or something like that?
Yes, this is what I meant.
Okay. Okay, I'm just checking if it's right, because we need to then see to which level of information, or actually to see what are some to have some guidelines on which in how much depth the information on the platform should go, because if it's overwhelming, then it's not user friendly. Okay, thank you, Petra. Let's now move to it's still an open discussion, but I will move to the sprint questions, because already some of them are added, but I wanted to see if something else occurs, and then we can all discuss them together. Let me just share so we can. Oh, I am actually sharing, sorry. I forgot that it stayed open. Okay, do you see the sprint questions now?
Yes.
Okay, so I will add some more, and actually I will add the ones that, because it's always like this, from questionnaire we get some information, maybe when you think always something else pops up, so don't mind if it sounds like we've done the doubling the work, but there is always something that pops up that didn't come while we talked or while we wrote. So we have will the platform be user friendly? So these are the sprint questions, actually some prerequisites and assumptions that we need to have in order for our long-term goal to be achieved, and also some obstacles that you defined and that you recognize, but we will just phrase them as sprint questions that later on we can see during the sprint, have we answered those or do we need to answer some more? So we mentioned, do we need, sorry. So we mentioned the user friendliness. Will the platform be user friendly? Adding, will it be well designed? And simple, user friendly, that's basically simple to use. Okay. We tackled stimulating involvement of stakeholders. I think we've mentioned here will participants in the platform be stimulated, but actually you mentioned continuous will.
Yeah,
we'll just add will continuous participation of the stakeholders be stimulated. Does it sound okay?
Yeah, it's what I was mentioning.
Okay, so basically this is also shall we be able to drive commitment and active participation, so it adds on to this. Will it be well designed, easy to understand? I think it's basically and simple to use. It's all connected to user friendliness, so that needs to be easy to understand, well designed, and simple to use. Also, you mentioned the prerequisites because this didn't come up before. And we said we will phrase it. Shall we have basically human resources to manage platform? Right. So that's together with the actual work that all of you do in each sector, basically, will you be able to actually manage the platform and input all the data, or will you find a way for someone else to do it, or however, because there is no point in having the platform if information will not be shared there, right? Also, will it provide value to stakeholders? So this is basically what somebody mentioned, but in a different wording. Will stakeholders be interested and perceive platform as valuable? Okay, sounds okay?
Yes.
As valuable and useful, basically, yeah. I think it's just connected, so just not to. How will they hear about? The potential. Oops, sorry. Okay. Will the potential of the platform be understood? So it's connected to the perceived value and usefulness, right? Do you see my screen? Sorry, something dropped out. Do you see the Jamboard?
Yeah.
Actually, I can see.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so it just keeps moving me around. Okay, and something else that we would add is will stakeholders hear about the platform? So we need to stakeholders here. So we need to actually discuss or take into account some marketing strategies. Okay, benefits. Will stakeholders be able to share their knowledge? And also you mentioned, will stakeholders be able to find funding, right? Okay, anything else? We did mention, sorry, the one I think Valeria mentioned, the will platform be useful in the implementation phase somehow, not just the will the platform be useful in the implementation phase? Not just for project management, which actually we did discuss, but let's leave it here. And also, will the level of information be just right? I think we mentioned now everything. Will the level info be is it the right term, excessive, when it's like an overload of information? Okay, and will the platform tackle or share project results? I don't have anything else here. If you want to add, you can still add.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
I'm interested, who is going to make this platform in technical sense? Who is going to develop solutions? Are we going to have more solutions and be able to choose, or that's my...
Okay. Yes, we have the external expert, IT company that will develop the platform, and that's why we had this first focus group, and later we will have the second one where they will present more functionalities on the real web page, and then we will discuss on what do we like, what do we don't like, what will we change, what do we think it would be better.
Okay, thank you, Željka.
No problem.
So basically the sprint is supposed to add on to this because they will probably come with some solutions that they, I mean, not probably, with the solutions that they have and offer, and try to sell through collaboration the platform. But this is an opportunity also for you, who are all experts and potential users of the platform, to define through focused discussions and what you need to be and how you see it to be set up in the platform, and what are actually the real needs and prerequisites that you need for the platform to be successful, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, I think regarding the questions, I would maybe, if you any time, and also during the interviews, if anything comes, we can easily add. So it's still, as I mentioned, the live document, but I think we have quite number of questions that we can later see. So just shortly, so basically, one part in group is about the user friendliness of the platform. So the design, easy to understand and simple to use. Will goals be aligned? So also somebody mentioned in the questionnaire, so different stakeholders have different designs, different goals. And also I think it's connected to the Will they see the platform as useful? I will maybe just group it together. Will they see it? Will the potential be understood, and will the stakeholders perceive it as valuable and useful? It somehow is connected. Then will stakeholders be able to find funding? Will they be able to share knowledge? Will it be useful in implementation phase, not just in the project management? Will the level of info be just right, not too excessive? Will the stakeholders hear about the platform? So regarding involvement, we mentioned, will continuous participation of the stakeholder be stimulated? Shall we be able to drive commitment and participation? Do we understand, this is more specific on how to better involve stakeholders in science-driven activities, but the more broad question is, will the stakeholders be more involved in co-design, co-creation? So I would say from all parts in science-driven activities, but also vice versa, right?
Yes, we are trying to involve them as much as possible, since they will be the users of the platform. So we will want to make it as accessible and attractive to them as possible.
Okay. So this is also basically connected to this. Will they be more involved? Can we find more effective way to engage different actors, stakeholders in proactive participation into the innovation network and ecosystem? It's a more broad, but here basically we are talking more about just the platform itself. And will platform tackle share project results? Okay, so these are the questions. I would leave it here for now. Okay. And of course, if we, at any point, somebody wants to add something else, we remember that something might be useful during the sprint, we can come back to this. Okay. Next thing is, I'd like you to help me to map stakeholders and actually try to make a simplified journey map of each of the stakeholders. I've shared now on the because we can also see later on if in some phase we need to maybe put more emphasis on with the platform and answer the questions or the problems that we have in a specific let's say journey. So I've divided it somehow. So the users are all of you, and these are different groups, right? And Željka, you mentioned different target groups that are part of the project and the platform. So I actually kind of divided it on the business sector. So it's kind of either a business owner, or we can just say it business representative. And then to try to map each of theirs with simple steps, so not like then the separate would be scientist or a researcher. Could that be grouped together, or there's need maybe to divide these two? Is it relatively similar set of activities which are done?
Well, maybe somebody for scientific sector can say. For me, it's okay, but if everyone agrees, then we can leave it together as a one group.
Okay. And a food chamber of commerce, which is more specific, we can actually name it some kind of legal
supporting organization, maybe better.
Okay. Oops.
I think it's fine to group scientists and researchers.
Okay, great. Okay, we will have this as a supporting organization, so it can be Chamber of Commerce or some innovation cluster probably, or however. Okay, so the idea is that we have defined key actors of this system of actually platform that we are tackling, and to see basically each of these paths or journeys has some kind of end to it. I don't know, in a business representative, it's probably some product or some service that is designed and launched. And scientists, it's or research done or a scientific work finished. And supporting organization is, I don't know, support provided or
match to I don't know, business representative with scientist researcher. That could be also where we match them. Then
so business and actors matched. That's it. So also, again, to mention, it's a live document. Whatever we put in, we can change in any time or update or however. So we have actors and we would have endings. So what we need is a few steps. So let's go through the journey. So what happens in this process? It can be, I don't know, 5-10 steps. Let's keep it relatively high level, so not really into all the activities or all the all the steps that that come up. Yeah.
I think that both a business representative and scientist researchers, from my understanding of the platform, could be searcher or providers of some solution. So is this the steps that we have to distinguish also, because maybe some researcher could need some technologies to develop or improve their researcher, but could be also provider of some technologies, and the same could be for business.
Okay, we can then look at the both. We will have two pathways then. Okay, it's a good comment, because yeah, it's not a one way street. Okay, I'll put it then, like, let's say product or service is launched, and in terms of science or research, shall we have like? Does it sound right that we have it's research or scientific paper, or how do you? No, it's not just a scientific paper, or it's correct me if it's not for the purpose of this. Okay. Okay, can we start from the business representative? So let's say in case of some company or some just to make it more clear on how the mapping what includes, so that you have an idea on what steps we are trying to achieve. So for instance, if we have from one part a new customer, so as a stakeholder, and we want to sell some product, no matter which it is. So we could say that, okay, this customer visits our shop or visits our web shop or reads about the product in the news, somewhere in the news, And then we see what else happens, what are the steps that he takes. So for instance, he visits the shops, then he maybe talks to the salesperson, or he strolls around the shop by himself. Maybe some step before that would be to do some internet research and check on the functionalities, prices, etc., depending on the product that he is looking for. And in the end, he would, I don't know, buy the product. Or if he's doing the web research, then he's comparing different brands, different retailers, then goes to a certain web shop and chooses the product and again buys. And also through the press, maybe he hears about something and then goes to a certain web page and chooses the product and buys. So just to have an idea. So it can have a lot of simple steps, but let's make it for the purpose of this really high level. So in terms of business, you mentioned both views. So also the seeking for providing a service and seeking for the service, right?
Yes. I don't know whether the others agree on that.
Okay, so how can we start then? Let's start the journey from the business perspective.
I think maybe the start could be the same for both groups, because someone is looking for the solution and somebody is offering the solution. So maybe.
So are we all offering the solution as it is, as a finished, or are we still developing some product or
It can
solution?
be both. It can be both.
Okay.
But maybe somebody from the business sector could explain better, or somebody from scientific. The idea is to have let's say offers and requests, and let's say on the web platform, the job of supporting organization will be to find the matching. To find a company that is offering solution to maybe scientists or research, or maybe even the local and regional government also. They're also important stakeholders.
So matching.
Or maybe not just matching offer to request, or finding the funding for development of some solution.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and beforehand, how are you matching? Do you need to collect some data, or you need to have an overview of?
Well, we in this platform we already had one activity where we have collected technology offers and technology requests from different stakeholders. We already have, I think, 72 of them. So they will be all in our base. So that is something that we will start with.
Mm-hmm.
Also, regarding the stakeholders, as I have mentioned, we will have the map of excellence. So there will also be, for start, they will be the first users of the platform.
Okay, but let's to make it really generic. So basically, you need to have a database of the users.
Yes.
Right. Managing the database of the users, so that it's up to date. That
yes, we will have to have a person, administrator, that will keep everything up to date, and of course this matching, we would actually love to have it automized, so that system recognize the matching and then just let the admin know that there have been matching in technology offer and technology requests.
Okay, and you also mentioned including local and government, no?
Mm-hmm.
Local
and regional
regional
government.
Okay. And finding, and basically, let's say some kind of end result is that business and scientific actors are matched.
Mm-hmm. And then we have satisfied customers that will spread the word.
Mm-hmm. Actually, they are matched, and as a result, yeah, you have satisfied customers and you have projects rolling, basically.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Big projects and changing, implemented. Okay, let's say also, as I said, we can add, change, however we find, but this seems like some logical to have an overview what happens, and then we'll see if if any of these steps is maybe we need to tackle it a little bit more.
May I add on the supporting organization step? I think that what Zelika was saying also before concerning the question, some marketing activity, in the sense that sometimes especially if, there could be that the potential user have not clear idea about the solution, so they are not able to precisely define their request. So part of, from my feeling, is that part of the role of the managers, the promoter of the platform, is also to explain better what could be the offering part. So it's not just making automatically the matching, but also to develop the demand, in the sense they could explain, I don't know, to researcher what could be the potentiality of some technologies, and then support a more refined request. Because sometimes, so this, from my perception, is more a marketing kind of activity. So working on multimedia content, showing the technology, so working also with business representative about, better explain what are the offering part. I don't know if it's clear what I'm saying.
Yeah, you think, sorry, Petra, you think when we find the matching, we should interact more with the users?
I think that matching works very well when both the demand and the offering side have clear idea about what they are asking. Yes. Sometimes making some interviews, for instance, on some researchers, some department, there could be some potentialities, but they have no clear idea about what some technologies could do. So maybe this, I don't know if it's really a marketing, is a way to define better the what the platform could give access to in terms of technological solution, maybe.
Then this should actually be even prior to the matching.
Yes, it could be for a different target.
Yeah, I also agree with this last, let's say, say input, because yes, support is important. I believe even to understand and to design specific activities or support that is really needed when doing the matching and the collection between offers and requests. So it's a sort of support that is, for me, it can be intended even more wider, let's say, not only marketing, but even sometimes even, I don't know, technology assessment or something like this. then in order to understand then which are the points that needs to be supported better.
How can you help me how to phrase it? I think I understand actually in what ways need to be more support, but maybe how can we just phrase it? So after we have offers and requests, we have the users database. So basically the supporting organization should somehow also before or during the matching offerings to requests. So it can be maybe step before or even sometimes step after, but facilitate. How can we actually phrase it to include what you mentioned, to facilitate better understanding or better sharing of possibilities or
yes, facilitate could be a good word. Yeah, I don't know, actually I'm just thinking about if facilitate or
demand awareness, something like that.
Yes, could be.
Facilitate demand awareness. Does that sound right?
See, or needs awareness. I don't know if it's needs awareness or yeah.
Is it in terms that just also to try to understand? So it's that we have collecting technology requests, but in order for someone to even collect technology requests, to be better aware of what
they need what they need to implement to better proceed with the forthcoming steps. It could be marketing for some, it could be technology transfer for others, it could be contact with investors with some others. So it could be different, but it's somehow guidance or support in driving them to let's say to grow up in the right direction.
Okay.
So probably is a step which is not after the matching, is before collecting technologies and offers and requests.
Actually, maybe this would be managing user database, and then we are collecting, but during this collecting also facilitating.
Yeah, I think could stay there, but sometimes it could be before and sometimes after. It depends.
Okay.
It's not that it's my let's say opinion that I have always let the others to integrate.
Okay, so it's voting, but let's say
it could be before and after for me.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so in a similar way, also to have an understanding of what happens in the scientific or researcher sector. Could be more or less steps. So how, let's say, you're starting from somewhere. So
May
in this case, I let the researchers or the to speak.
May I say something? Francesca speaking. Sorry, I cannot switch on the camera because of connection problems. Sorry for that. And yeah, I think that we can put because we have two sides of the scientists and researchers participation in this process. We can have the user, let's say, side. So scientists and researchers as users of these technologies. So in this case, we can co-develop sensors or platforms with the business representatives in order to achieve, let's say, better achieve the scope of some studies. Or we can, okay, always co-develop, but in the sense that we can be, let's say, the research and development side of some companies in this. Because we as a researcher, we can propose new approaches in terms of, for example, informatic and IT, let's say, approaches, or in terms of the use of artificial intelligence side. So it is not in the sense of user co-development. So but in terms of proposing new approaches or new technological solution that then can be used by the companies to develop some product that can go on the market. So these are, in my opinion, the two roles of researchers in this case. Because in the first case, we can use the technology to achieve, for example, some environmental problems, and then using this technology, we can reach the goal to have a scientific paper on the environmental challenge, for example, or we can be the research side of the development of a particular product. So we can have a scientific paper on the technology approach, on technology applications. So it depends which kind of role we would like to explore deeply in this case. But yeah, we can be user, but also yeah, co-developer in this case. So, and then of course I see also as a step the test, because the scientist can be, let's say, the test case of the technological solution, because then you can also spread your technology to the users, to the wider users, no? So also the test, the validation of the results with the science should be taken into account. The validation of the approach, the technology performances, as you want to call them. So should be a step in this case.
Okay, this sounds okay. Do you see this? Do you see the Jamboard?
Yes, I can see
okay.
it. Yes.
This sounds okay so far.
Yes, my opinion, it's great, and I don't know. I don't see many steps to reach the goal of scientific paper done in this case.
It doesn't need to include. That's why I said we can really go into very much depth. How will you achieve this? Which platforms will you be using? Which ways of collaboration, etc. But it's important to have an overview, because maybe you don't have any really problem with validation or with testing, but we need to tackle mostly this part, the first part. So it's actually to get a better understanding, and it helps us to get an overview and to see if anywhere we are lacking some parts, or maybe we need to focus more on certain steps. So if anybody else wants to add, or if this is it, as I said, we can maybe later when we talk in the interview, something else will pop up, so we can still add it on. It's not a problem. Okay, so far let's keep it like this, and then we have from the business part. I think we can try to finish it right before the break. Yeah, we have a break at 10 minutes. So from the business part, business representatives, so do you start with some kind of probably recognizing some needs on the market and then developing solution, or who do we have? Just a second. From we have Gelmar, right, Marco? And somebody else from the business sector? Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Francesca. I just saw now that you asked for the Jamboard.
No, okay, no problem. But
okay, sorry, I didn't.
I had no problem.
It was like half an hour ago. Sorry. Please feel free if I don't respond through the chat immediately, just to let me know. So okay, from the part of the business, as I see Marco, and I don't know if anybody else is from the business part.
I can share something that we as a cluster, we have supported, let's say, our enterprises in the diversified steps that could bring from the designing of an idea that then is becoming step by step after R&D processes that are somehow connected to the technology readiness levels. So more or less, that is, yeah, initially the research that is done, that sometimes is done in-house, sometimes is done with some support, external support, like scientists or researchers. And then, of course, there is the enrichment of a prototype that, of course, should be initially previously tested before becoming a prototype with some calculation, and then tested in the laboratory, and then tested maybe in operative condition, and then, of course, validated. And then, of course, when there is a scale-up process that is somehow driving towards a sort of production process. So these are the steps, let's say, that we normally can witness when we are following the enterprises that are parts of our cluster. So yes, it's the testing. It's initially could be done in the lab, and then in operative conditions. So within a real, let's say real environment. Let's say. So more or less, really, this is really simplified, of course.
Yes, of course.
But somehow, this is something that that could be a sort of process. And then I don't know if someone else wants to add something. If we want to keep it, let's say, simple, I think it could work in this way.
Okay, and maybe after the production, actually, what happens since let's say, this product or service or sensor technology platform, whatever it is launched, also some kind of offering to the market. So also the marketing activities, some kind of marketing activities, and
I think that, of course, before the production, there is a lot of activities of benchmarking, markets, analysis, and then relation with potential customers, so end users. So there is a lot of, let's say, supporting activities that that are somehow preparatory for reaching the market. And of course, then when you are on the market, you need to consider a lot of issues. Of course, financing could be also an issue. It's not that direct connected to the construction, but is somehow an issue for an enterprise to find out adequate funding that could somehow support the enrichment.
Would that be then maybe somewhere around the developing prototype, and then before or after the testing, or somewhere in which phase would that actually be mostly suited? It can happen in any phase, but
if you consider financing, financing, it could be, let's say, it could be from the starting. Depends on the partners, on the funding availability, of the cost. So always, in general, innovative enterprises always need funding, and funding could start with the beginning and could reach the production phase. So then somehow it's a continuous issue.
Yeah. Okay. So I will put it more to the beginning, or maybe sometimes you will have enough for the research and to develop prototype, but not to the actual production. So I will put it closer to the start somewhere. So ensuring.
Probably they should be aware of this from the beginning, and so they know at which stage and they will need funding and what kind of funding they could reach. So probably when starting, they should know about that.
Okay, does this seems simple? I know it's there's a lot of work and a lot of steps behind any of these, let's say, big phases, but can we just all take a short glance at the map and the journey that we have, and does it seems at this point that we covered, or would you like to change or add something else?
I'm fine with.
Hi, this is Fausto.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could add on the scientist researcher,
okay.
Besides the research scientific paper done, also scientific proposals done, future project proposals, let's say.
So also, so before, no, after the scientific paper is done, basically, or
in parallel. So also in blue, I think it could be in parallel, so below.
As one of the results.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, because through the research and through all this cooperation, you actually clarify or recognize new requests for either for research or for development.
Yes, either new requests or we identify new funding calls and we want to submit new projects.
Okay, like this?
Yeah, that's okay. I don't know, Francesca, what do you think?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great because in Horizon Europe, the last program of the European Commission's, the connection for the proposals, the project proposals with the companies, it's fundamental. So I think this is a great suggestion.
Okay. So map, does this map look right at the moment? Okay. 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 So now it's 2 minutes before the break. So so far we will leave the map like this. So we did cover the aligned on the long-term goal of the project, the goals of the workshop of the sprint, and we defined sprint questions, which included some assumptions that we need to achieve, and also some risks that might occur with development and implementation of the platform itself. We now covered the mapping of the stakeholders and some main steps that happened during the journey, after which actually all the outcomes occur depending on the sector. And also the next step, so now after the break, will be to actually ask the experts, which again are you, to do a round of interviews. So we will try to keep it focused, 15 max 20 minutes, because we actually have like a little bit more than 1 hour. So also to explain you what we will do tomorrow and give you the short assignment, which is nothing complicated, but just some things to think about until tomorrow. So we discussed to have someone from so for you to be ready after the break. So probably Željka then, you are here, right? You will be from the facilitator part for the supporting organization.
Yeah, I can be together with maybe if Eleonora wants to join. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Page Eleonora. Then from the researcher, you mentioned Francesca. Is it okay?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. From university part, we have Fausto and Guido. So either one of them who is.
I might have problems on the last 2 days, but today I'm here, so.
Okay. So today we works. Okay, then Fausto and also from business part, Johnny or Marco, whoever is. I mean, we can have one to start off the conversation with, and then of course it's a discussion that you can join in. So just so that you know that we are counting on your input so far. So the interviews are going to be conducted a bit facilitated by me for you to share, taking into account everything that we've talked through this morning. Anything else that you would like to share about this project and that might actually make this project a success, to tell a bit more, or what do you know more about the project, some more specific things, and what are some biggest advantages, opportunities, the biggest risks, maybe some previous efforts that have been done in the past that were successful or not so successful, and why. So anyways, to share a bit more of your expertise, which is why you are here. So let's now have a short break, 15 minutes, and after we are back, we will go and discuss all together. Everybody else is asked to actively participate in terms of asking questions that might occur during the discussion, or if you remember that something that you know happened, to ask the person to clarify a bit more on that. And also we will all take notes. I will explain you then how, because they will help us to gather some more how might be questions that we are trying to solve later on. Okay, so not to hold you anymore, see you in 15 minutes, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, see you.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you.
Okay, are you here? Can we start?
Yes, we can start.
Okay. Okay, great. So welcome back, everybody. Okay, so now we will go on to the asking the experts. So in more specific way. So Željka, we will start then with you, and Eleonora can jump in anytime, right? So
Sure.
basically, all of us, the rest, are actually let's call us reporters. So you can add a question or ask for a bit more clarification, or if you remember working on a similar project or some part of your work that you think it would be valuable for others to hear some more insight, now is the time. So don't be shy. So anybody of you can jump in, because actually here you are the experts, not me, about the work that you are doing. So I will try to facilitate, but also jump in anytime. So Željka, we will just go quickly, short glance at what we provided so far, and I would have some more questions in terms of, let's say, you already know and you already shared a lot about this challenge. So what else is actually something that you know, and what you find that this might make this project a success? Or also, what are some advantages, opportunities that you see through leading this project? Maybe what are some biggest risks that we really need to tackle? We already emphasized some of them. Also, have been done any previous efforts to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, or you have some success story or a failure story that you'd like to share? Anything that might help us to get more understanding of the project, of the sprint, and what we are trying to achieve here. So
okay, so we are talking about the web interactive platform.
Yeah. Yes, we will go just a short few steps back. So we are focusing on the platform. Just a second, something. My Microsoft Teams is going crazy. Just wanted to share the. Okay, here you are. To share. Okay, to share my window. So we did discuss the long-term goal. We no need to go further. So the sprint goals, we did mention to agree on some main functionalities and stakeholders and visual of the page, and actually to develop, to set the grounds for developing in InnovaMare platform. All the sprint questions that we mentioned about the platform to be user-friendly, about the goals to be aligned, and actually for the stakeholders to perceive the platform as valuable and to be actively, continuously participating in it. So also we mentioned we'll be able to ensure finding funding, sharing knowledge, hearing about the platform, being more involved in co-design and co-creation process, tackling sharing project results, will be useful throughout the project, not just the project management, but also through implementation, level on info and who will manage this info from the human part, human resources. That's basically shortly that, and the map that we provided so far.
Okay, so I will start with the information I know because we are still in developing process. So
I'm sorry, just to interrupt you for a second. For everybody else, please take notes. Whatever you find interesting that we might tackle as a problem and give an answer to it, we can try to capture it. I've put in the Jamboard. You can mark it down on the paper. It doesn't have to be in the Jamboard, so later we can discuss and add on. So we are aiming to get some how might we questions in terms of how might we, I don't know, include scientists in R&D side of a business, or how might we, so whatever insight now that you find something curious or interesting that we might ask ourselves. So just note it down, and then we will discuss. Sorry, Željka, yes, please continue.
No problem. So as I said, we do have some suggestions on what this platform should be and how should it look like. But we are still in developing process, so some things are still undecided. So we have imagined that this platform will be like a key place where stakeholders will be able to exchange their ideas, experiences, their knowledge, and also to encourage those stakeholders to work together. Since the project is based in Italy and Croatia, our plan is for start to have the stakeholders from those two countries, and of course later, in later development phases, it should be also open for the stakeholders from Europe and from all over the world. So since we are focusing on underwater robotic and sensoric for start, we will be, let's say, gathering the different solutions from the domain of the underwater robotics and sensoric that will be in function in order to achieve the sustainability of the, in this case, Adriatic Sea. As we already said, the main users should be companies that are looking for, let's say, research and development institution that will help them to develop new products and services. Research and development institution that would like to cooperate with some companies, local and regional governments that are looking for a solution that will help to prevent some sea pollution. And also research institution, companies, and any other organization that is looking for a partner that with which they could be involved in different EU projects. Also, some institutions that already have some knowledge and experience in development of innovation ecosystem, and different external stakeholders like financing institution, venture capital funds, and so stakeholders that could help us in finding the best funding solutions. When we were discussing the main functionalities of the platform, we have imagined that there will be several functionalities that we would also like to discuss and agreed on with all the partners. So one of them we have also discussed on this focus group, and that's the marketplace. We have imagined that this will be the digital marketplace where stakeholders will bring their projects, their solution, and their expertise. So we will have the providers of the solutions for some challenges that will be also able to put on the platform. As I also mentioned, we have already created a map of excellence, and this map, we have mapped all the innovation stakeholders in the blue economy in Italy and Croatia. So that will be, let's say, our base for building the community. And this community will also be one of the main functionalities, where we will have the profile of those experts, of companies, projects on which some companies or experts have been involved. We will provide interaction between stakeholders based on their interests and enable them to transfer information and knowledge. Also, one of the services will be funding, as I already mentioned, so we will try to involve stakeholders that could help us with those funding, but also we will allow them to apply stakeholder solution ideas or project proposal. And we were thinking of having like we have called them brokerage agents, but it's like a key customer manager that will help different companies, researchers to find the perfect partner for their solution, or buyer, or fund, or somebody who will fund them. Also, we would offer the counseling services in a way that we will have the experts that could counsel our stakeholders regarding different laws, strategies, and give them the best advices on how to continue with development of their solutions, or how to find the best partners. And one of the functionalities would be Innovation Hub. For instance, you are a company and you have a challenge for your product or service. And we, as a platform, the people that will work on a platform, we will bring experts to this hub, and we will start this process where we will help you to discover the best solution for you. So let's say those are the main functionalities. Also, we have discussed on the way the page should look like. For instance, the home page. We were thinking of not have too many things on the home page, like just the part where you can log in or register, and to find out more about the platform, services of the platform, and things like that. So we were thinking maybe of create 3 call to action buttons. For instance, one would be explore, and he would bring you to the map of excellence. One will be connect, it will bring you to the community part, and one will be the solve, that could bring you to the marketplace. So these are just some of the things that we are still discussing about, and that we were hoping to offer through this platform.
Yeah, and this is definitely something that we will discuss more on the sprint.
Yes,
because this is also the aim.
We were also discussing on how much of the information should be publicly available, and how much we are going to offer to our members. So we were thinking of have this public content, but in this public content, people could just see that we have map of excellence, marketplace on which you could get basic info on the projects that are offered, or basic info on some offer and requests, and the idea section where you can also place your idea. And also you could see that we have marketplace community where you could get some basic info on who is the member of the community, let's say just the name of the company or something like that. Then we will have the register member, we call it freemium part, where you should just register, but you don't have to pay. But then you will not have the access to all the services that we are offering, like the premium members that are registered and have paid for the offers and services that we are planning to offer. So,
okay, so now this needs to be discussed also. Probably
yes,
maybe counseling would be only for the paid membership, or however. No, it's great that you have a skeleton. Actually, I was not aware that you have so many already discussed in the focus group, because this is actually, so I will try to then make it more focused, because definitely on the sprint, this is something that we would do and start from the scratch. So, but then we will see if it's, I don't know if all the people who are already here participated in this, or it was done in a smaller group.
No. There were a couple of partners, but we wanted to involve as much as stakeholders that aren't project partners. Since we are developing that for them, so to see in which way we can attract new stakeholders and what would be interesting for them to join the interactive web platform.
Okay, great. Then we will, good to have some starting points, but also to ask this community to actually share their thoughts on how to organize which functionalities and what maybe some other aspects would be important to include. So then we can discuss if it's necessary or not. Okay, is there something that you have discussed? Okay, now the ways to the profiles and memberships. You mentioned homepage and some and a lot of functionalities that you kind of. So we can go into more depth also after tomorrow, after we defined and let's say align on have alignment on the functionalities, either this that you already mentioned, or maybe there will some others that will be occur, and then we'll see about more details for each of these sections, how it should look like. This is my intention to have some discussion around that. Something else regarding the project and maybe some opportunities that you see, some other recent or some other project collaborations that some know-how that might be useful for this specific project.
Well, we have developed inside of our institution innovation web platform that is a place for innovative players in Croatia to join together. So we have presented that platform and the way it has been used. So only that we have as let's say as a base that we offer to the part. I mean, it's not the best, but it's the one that we can use as a starting point that we have also presented to developers and to the people that were at the focus group. So
okay, does something around that that you learned so far,
yes,
which is useful, can be beneficial, or something that needs to be avoided maybe somehow?
Yes, the first thing was that signing form was too long. So we have to avoid that people need to put too many information. So we should stick to the, I don't know, drop-down menus and trying to find a way on how to get the most information about somebody, but not make them fill in long forms. So that is something that was agreed on by everyone on the focus group. And to find, of course, something that will help us to stand out of all the platforms that have similar services and solutions. But that is really not an easy task. So that's why we would love to have homepage as simple as possible and just basic information, but told in very attractive way. So, and the people, when they come to the platform, that they know what this platform is for, so that they don't have to think, okay, what now? Mm-hmm. So, just to guide them as simple as possible.
Are there some platforms that you mentioned that have similar uses that you would mention as a good example or as a bad example, or that you would like to differentiate from, stand out?
Well, we looked so many different platforms, and most of them are actually the same. On the home page, about us, but about us is maybe too long. And then too many maybe informations on the home page. So we would like to give people the opportunity to find what they are interested, and then by clicking on the button, they will get more info. So they don't need to have all the information on the home page.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to find the right measure.
Yes, yes. And again, not too little information. So. Yeah. Not just to leave a button named solve, so that people think, okay, what now? To solve what? But we just need to find the proper way to present ourselves, but not to be not to have too many informations, but also not to be just one of the platforms. Mm-hmm. So that's the main thing that we want to work on.
Petra, may I add something? I think that Zerka did a very good present. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
A very good overview. I would just to add that I think one of the distinguished features of this platform is that it's very vertical on underwater, maritime, and sensor. So there's two keywords. One is more on the industry or technology, basically, some application. So the idea of also starting with a map of excellence is that to provide an overview of all the actors and expertise related with this topic, with this technology field, let's say, that could be of help for business and researchers to connect to others. So maybe each of us could have an overview of some of them, but one of the advantages or the benefit could be to have in just one place all the actors. And the other is that is related also to provide support on sustainability issue. So I think that also what Zelika was saying, that could be interesting, and to be a trustworthy platform, in the sense that all the key players find in this platform a platform which is useful, and so this is of course a challenge, because in this kind of platform there is what is called a chicken and egg problem. So you have to have the demand and the other side. But I think that we during this project we already did some work on that. So for instance, starting with the map of excellence, but the challenges part would be to provide something which is peculiar of the underwater maritime and sensor kind of technological domain, because it's very peculiar, is growing. There's a lot of technologies connected with these two words, lots of field of application, but there is also some needs that could be of aggregation of the potential members that could come and join the platform. So we have seen also before, so from the research side, from the business side, we have lots of potentials. So, and it is also because there are some specificities in this platform that I agree with Zelika, we have to explain very well.
Yeah, because a lot of it how to say it, overlaps with maybe some other similar platforms, because all you are into innovation, and the purpose is also to drive innovation, but to make it specific enough and interesting enough and clear enough what this platform is all about, right? And what area it is covering.
Exactly.
Yes, we were also discussing we should brand the map of excellence in a sense that people would love to join us, like to be a part of something that is excellent. So maybe in that way we can not to be exclusive, but have that exclusivity line in itself. So the people when hear, okay, map of excellence, I really want to be with the best. So maybe to find a way to brand that.
This is a very interesting point, just to take the marker. It's a very interesting point that you mentioned. So not to look at it solely as some kind of a database where you're mapping all the stakeholders, but to be like you're awarded to be in this map. You're awarded for your excellence in the work, in the field of innovation, or in the field of research that you are doing. So there may be some criteria by which people can actually enter, not just send their data, but that's something seems like something interesting to discuss later on also. Okay, anything else? I mean, you shared quite a lot of info, which all together now are scattered around, but we will try to filter it and to get some focus for tomorrow's work.
Okay.
So we are still in the phase of collecting all the possible inputs that we might help us to be more specific, because the easiest part is to sit down and say, okay, let's write down what we want this to be and functionalities, but this all helps us to actually come to more specific and more useful results afterwards.
Well, for now, I don't have anything else to add, so if somebody has any questions, and if I know the answer, I will be happy to answer.
Maybe I'd also be regarding this marketplace that you mentioned, digital marketplace as part of the platform. So would be a place for providers of solutions to offer their solutions, of course, but also to have the other parts asking for offers.
Yes, and also a place to connect companies, institutions, different domains of private, civil, and public sector also. And this will be the place where people will get the information based on their membership. So if they're only the visitors of the page, they will have some basic info on, I don't know, what we are working on with maybe short description. Then for people that are registered, they will have more information. And then if they are interested in connecting with somebody or to join some project, they will then have to become premium members, pay the fee, and then they will have the possibility to see all the data, all the ideas, all the stakeholders, who is working on what, who is working with who. So. And that is the idea of the marketplace.
Okay, great. Thank you, Željka. Anybody else? Maybe if you have any questions for Željka that maybe you'd like to emphasize a bit more, or get more clarification, now is the time also? Or Eleonora? No? Okay. Okay, then we will move to the next session for, we said, researcher or the institute. So Francesca, please, could you also then share your point of view and your expertise regarding everything that we've discussed here? So anything more you would could add about the challenge and actually what would help to make this project a success? So not in terms of, yeah, if you have some ideas on solutions, of course, but also what would be maybe some unique advantages or opportunities from your perspective as an expert?
Yeah, let's say that my opinion is that the expertise in terms of it's what I already mentioned in the Jamboard, let's say, because the scientists in this case can be users of these technologies or let's say co-designers in terms of sharing the approaches and let's say spreading the knowledge about what for what this kind of technology can be used. So not only they can be the bridge between the technology and the applications, let's say. So in this case, but also it can be can foster the innovation within the innovation ecosystem. So with together with the companies and the other stakeholders. So and what I would like to, let's say, highlight is that the science behind the innovation is a key issue, let's say, because we should put our basis on for innovation on a scientific base, no? So this is what I think the scientists can bring in, and of course maybe also new approaches, and with the this kind of functionalities that Angelica already mentioned of the platform. So the connection with the stakeholders and also the possibility to find also partnerships for new projects of to co-design and to co-develop new technologies. I think this can be very, very nice opportunity for the project to collaborate between let's say among this kind of typology of stakeholders. So this is more or less, and also the possibility that I already mentioned, and also Fausto highlighted, was the possibility to test the technologies, because this is something that sometimes is not enough, let's say, underlined, because during one of our workshops here in, let's see if I can activate my camera. During one of our workshop, we saw a presentation from a Croatian company. They are not working on the marine environment, but they work for the, let's say, I don't know exactly the name, let's say the technical name of these kind of robots, but they use these robots to move packages like in Amazon. Okay. Yeah, this kind of, and they mentioned that the testing phase is something that is crucial. So, and also Carlo mentioned before that the benchmarking, the possibility to compare, let's say, your results with other results and so on, in order to achieve a product that is reliable in the end. So this phase is crucial, and I think that also in this phase the universities and research centers can play a role. So this platform can be also useful in these regards. And that's it from my side. I don't know if Fausto wants to add something and from the university point of view, but yeah, more or less, this is the contribution that that universities can and research centers can bring in the project. So, and maybe I'm just thinking live.
Okay, yeah.
Let me say like this, and maybe also the connection with some of the public authorities, because not only in terms of because of course Roberta and all the Chamber of Commerce are connected with the public authorities, but in terms of connection with the environmental, for example, environmental protection agencies in the country. Usually the research centers and the universities, they collaborate a lot in terms of the monitoring the status of the sea and the environmental variables. So Ruder Boskovic can say something on this, and we can also be a bridge between this kind of stakeholders and yeah, the companies or yeah, the other stakeholders of the platform. So maybe this can
because
be,
of already well-established connections and collaborations.
Yeah, because you know that in the Marine Framework Directive, we have a lot of, for example, we have a lot of directives for the internal waters, for the marine waters. So there are a lot of European Commission directives, and we already collaborate with them, with this kind of stakeholders for this kind of monitoring activities and so on. So in relation to the topic, the main topic that InnovaMare, in this case, the target that InnovaMare wants to achieve, so the good environmental status of the Adriatic Sea and the reduction of pollution, this can be, let's say, a skill that and something that our typology of institutes can bring in the project. So. Yeah. This is one of the critical points that I saw in this. I did not detail enough to maybe in your assignment when I compile, I filled in the assignment. But one of the criticalities that I see is that usually there is a big lack of interest, a big lack of involvement of this kind of stakeholders in these processes. So the public, let's say, regional authorities on environment, on that are the ones who should monitor the environment, because they have the issue of their aim is to do that. Usually it is very difficult to involve them in this kind of activities. So also in these days, I tried to involve them, but it's very, very complicated. So this is one of
the purpose of this. Everything is actually to have more innovative solutions for the monitoring. One of the goals.
You know, it's something difficult because in these days during this month, two last month, we had a lot of very interesting, for me at least, workshops on the business, let's say business models. A lot of information on this, but something that I always see as a difficulty, but maybe an opportunity in this case, because it's a challenge, so we should find a solution for that. Is that sometimes, and in many times, let's say, the users of this kind of technology, at least in the environmental world, are public authorities. So the business model to involve them in order to, let's say, allow them to buy this kind of technologies is not always easy, because you should find it's not something like a mobile phone. No, you have to involve the citizens in this case. for this kind of sensors and let's say robots, usually the stakeholders are public stakeholders. So the possibility for them to buy this kind of things is not the same that I'm sure that there are business models for that. I'm not aware of, maybe enough, but I think that in order to be really, really efficient within this project, we should find a way to involve them in the co-creation, but also find a way to, let's say, foster the collaboration, but also find a way to fund this kind of things and to push the companies doing something that is not always the business is not always easy.
I think I understand. I mean, it does help definitely. It's only one part of the ecosystem and one part of the public authorities, but it's actually a very relevant part because it's their purpose is to use these instruments. But as I understood, just to rephrase it, as they are lacking the involvement from the beginning, and always since they are public authorities probably lacking also some funds. It's easy to difficult to convince them to actually purchase this technology. But if they would be
also because for administrative, let's say, problems, because you have to purchase things in with the many constraints, so it's not always easy for them to buy this kind of products, and and also the costs are an issue in this case. So okay, but it's something that we can discuss.
Yeah, but okay, but finding, but it seems like one part of the, let's say, the puzzle, but it seems like something that could be and needs to be addressed as well. Definitely on seeing, just trying to phrase it, and then later I will put it in this, let's say, how might we...
Then this should be more clear if we will share the infographic on our instruments, and because I would maybe me or Fausto, we will send you this document later on.
Okay.
But,
if you have it ready, you can share it even now, or you want to share it afterwards. However, it's
let's
best suited.
see if I have it. In the meanwhile, I will explain a bit.
Okay.
I can.
As I understand, so yeah, it's a part how to convince them and how to actually involve them from the start, but specifically this group of.
Let's see if I can share the screen. You can see it?
Yes.
Okay. If you look at the target groups, okay, in this infographic, you have the different robotic solutions, so the different kind of vehicles that we can we are developing within InnovaMare. So we have service vessel, buoys, underwater vehicles, and so on. But if you look at the target groups, most of the times they are public authorities. So you have municipalities, coastal authorities, marine protected areas, environmental agencies, archaeological superintendencies, and whatever. So most of the times, the target groups of these kind of technologies are public. So to use in the environmental world, let's say, then we can have, of course, some examples like the ships companies or the aquacultures. We can have, of course, also examples in the private world, but a lot of them are public. So and within InnovaMare, one of the difficulties that I found personally was to involve them in this process. So this is why I filled in your questionnaire. I said, okay, this is a criticalities because we have to involve them in this process. Yes, and this is a challenge. So that's it from my side. I don't know if Fausto has something to add.
Okay, thank you very much. Fausto, would you like to add something?
Well, my task is harder because now everyone's said everything, mostly. I agree with what Francesca said. The only thing maybe I wanted to add is that for us, I think it's very important to really map the stakeholders because even though Croatia is a small country, we don't know or we are not aware of everyone that works in the field. We had recently a case of that where 2 days ago, Nikola, our head of lab, was on TV in Dobra Jutro, and we found out that there's an underwater archaeology center in in Zadar, besides the one from the university with whom we collaborate for many years, you know. So even if it's a small country, there's still stakeholders that we are not aware of, and that's very important to be aware of who's working in the area, to then possibly establish collaborations for the future, new project proposals, and evolve them in testing of technologies. For instance, here we put archaeology as one of the targets. I don't see, yeah, on the left one, on the first one, there's archaeological sites. And of course, we need archaeologists to do any work with the archaeological sites. So it was good that now we found someone else that we didn't know. And through the tool, we expect that this will be very helpful to find those people. And of course, others from Italy that we are neither aware of. And eventually, when it gets extended to the whole Europe, at least, even more stakeholders, because sometimes we do a project proposal and it's very hard to find a stakeholder with very specific background that we might need for that given project. So we expect that this tool would be very helpful on that. I think that would be the most beneficial thing, especially when it comes to companies and SMEs. We don't know many of the SMEs. I saw in Zadar when we had the roundtable in April, I found many new companies in Croatia that are actually doing very good and that are very related to what we do. So through that and through including them in this tool, I think that new collaborations can happen and be very fruitful. And besides that, of course, it's a good way to show our services and our robots to public authorities and to other end users that maybe are not aware of what we are able to do. There's a huge gap sometimes between what users want or need and what we can offer. So this could help to fill that gap. We have been working on that also for many years in this workshop that we have, Breaking the Surface, where we have not just marine robotics, but also applications. On that case, we have mostly robotics, archaeology, geology, and maritime security. But we don't have maybe so many as public authorities as we wish. So I think the tool and the projects are excellent to involve them in as a stakeholders, but also in the possible co-design of robots whenever that is possible. That's the hardest part, but at least to give us feedback and use the robots. Maybe not to design them, but at least on those phases.
To be included. Okay, and also that you mentioned, to come back to the map of stakeholders, especially you already mentioned, I think also previous, to have this map really updated and in terms of not maybe just the ones that are the most obvious, because those you probably know, but there are a lot of innovation companies that are doing something that might be beneficial, maybe not even aware that it might be because they don't know what's going on the other part of your research activities and scientific activities. So
and hopefully we'll also contribute to maybe reduce, not, I won't call it trust, but not even awareness, reduce maybe some reluctance to work with each other sometimes between academia and industry, on both sides. I'm not saying just one side. Because sometimes maybe, of course, and I understand the industry is worried about IP protection, academia is worried about, you know, getting ideas stolen in a way, or doing the dirty work and then get someone else to commercialize. So through a honest marketplace, it should help to diminish that. At least I hope so.
Okay.
Especially if you like devise any standard IP protection contracts or something between the parties, so it's very clear how or what's the scope of the collaboration and how it will be implemented and who gets the IP, etc., etc. I think it could be very useful to reduce this reluctance to work together.
Okay, so maybe also something that the marketplace should tackle into more.
Yes, yeah,
depth.
it would be.
Okay.
I mean, at least maybe some template on how it's planned to collaborate, like some boundaries. So what's the scope and regarding IP, what could be done, etc.
Okay. Okay, I've noted it down. So
of course, it will be tailored for the specific application and
we'll try to go over it.
Yeah, I mean, it will be tailored then for each specific partner, etc. But maybe just to have an idea of what is to be expected on that collaboration and by sharing ideas and project partners.
Okay, okay, great, Fausto. Thank you. Anybody else from reporters wants to ask or add something?
May I add something on the Francesca's point concerning you know, the difficulties maybe to involve public, let's say, institutions, okay, that buy. I think she made a very relevant point because there are some, I mean, public authorities that are under what is called public procurement procedures. So if we have to think about a marketplace, we have to identify how to connect the two dimensions, because usually public procurement as designed for standard, let's say, products. So you go online and then you purchase based on some criteria. Then we have our marketplace. So how the two should be connected. From our experience also as universities, you know, the idea is that when you have a public institution that have to buy something which is not standard, so it's more complex, customized, there are some project based, it could be feasible to go outside these formal, you know, regulated procedures. But sometimes these could be increase the time of the procedures. So I think to involve, I know Francesca is more experienced than me, but involving these, the responsible of who within the institutions could be the decision maker, but also the one that is actually buying or deciding how to buy, from which channels to buy, could be interesting also in the future, I don't know, focus group that will be organized in order to understand also their point of view. Yes, MEPA. Francesca understands very well what I'm talking about. We are an Italian marketplace that could be very difficult to manage. Okay, so this is only my comment. Thank you.
Okay, okay, thank you very much. So I think it's very beneficial then, because yes, in the end, whoever takes the decision, whatever, everything can look nice in a platform and you can include them in the process of even the co-creation maybe, but in the end, if this part of buying is not, okay, it's we will see also, can we even tackle this, but it's important to have it on the table to understand also. Okay, thank you very much, Eleonora. So I think if anybody wants to add. Okay, thank you, Eleonora. So we have a few, we actually have 15 minutes more, yeah, until 1. So we have time to hear also the business part. This was right, Marco or Gianni?
Yeah, I've been listening.
Whoever is here and available.
I've been listening to all day, but it's my very first spring event, and I'm just trying to understand how it works. I am listening and following, and I'm not sure if I can intervene, saying something interesting.
Well, I'm sure that you can, because you're just, there's no right or wrong answer. You are providing some insights from your point of view, you as an expert for this specific area. So,
well, I substantially agree with what was said by Fausto and by Francesca.
Okay, so regarding also including more cooperation and with the science, also in the possibility to find partnerships and actually using the science sector as co-designers also.
Yes, indeed.
And users of the technology are providing.
I didn't get that.
Maybe if I can ask, Gianni, maybe you can tell from your side, what would you like to find on the platform like this? What would you like to get from this platform, you as a person from a business sector?
Well, the platform should give me the capability to understand what's going on and who's playing in the market, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So who are the players, but also what is going on in terms of other technical developments, or?
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the idea that Jelika described before, it's a very interesting idea. How we will implement it will make a difference, but for now, everybody is a great professional, so I don't think anything less than perfect.
And what you would find like the most beneficial? Okay, to have an overview, actually capability, what you mentioned, to understand what's going on the market. So who are the important players? What are some achievements, developments in terms of technology also? Who are your competitors in a way, but also where are some opportunities for development or for sales or for funding?
Well, we are in the business. We have been in the business for the last 28 years. We have quite a good view about who are our competitors, what they sell, and who are our customers, and even in Croatia. So, I mean, maybe there will be a new research institute. Not likely, but that could be. Or a new private company like Marcos, Geomar. And so we are open to know what's going on, like I said, and to see if the oceanographic market is a quite established one. And but yeah, if some new opportunities or new companies arise, we would like to know.
Okay.
Okay, can I add something?
Yeah, Marco.
Yes, of course.
Of course, I agree completely with Gianni. I would just want to add that what is interesting from our side, because this is more or less something completely new in a new field which is opening, and which is connected somehow with our job, which is various hydrographic jobs. So we are in many levels connected with data and gathering data from the sea. And through this whole project, and mainly maybe through this web platform, it would be interesting to know how can we be involved in the new tasks. Are we end users, or we are someone who is giving some solution, or we are someone who is maybe just support in realization in some projects or tasks, gathering some information from the sea, or monitoring, or making some kind of surveys and something like that. That is maybe for my point of view very interesting, and as I said, some kind of new field is opening.
Mm-hmm. Basically, new tasks or new roles, because if you consider maybe playing on the market in one role where you're offering a solution, but actually this might open some other roles, and to see how efficiently you could have these new roles and markets opened, right? New tasks opened.
Yeah, that's right. Because for now we are just, let's say, simple hydrographic company doing common tasks, hydrographic surveys, and this is the field when maybe some new tasks can be or have to be developed.
Okay.
In technical sense, of course.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Thank you, Marco. Anything else you would like to add, or any questions for you from other participants?
This is it for now. I'm sure that will be in the next days questions and ideas.
May I just add something regarding this that Marco said? I think that we wouldn't like to limit our stakeholders, so they could be end users, but also solution providers.
Yes, that's what I think also.
Yeah, maybe I will try to frame it as somehow as a question, but yeah, how might we actually ensure that all stakeholders recognize all the roles they might be participating in? Because maybe you are approaching now this as, okay, I have something to offer to the market, I have some new technology or some new product or a service, but actually to be aware that this marketplace is not for you, that you have to market yourself as an offerer or as a requester, but actually you can be both in different steps of the journey that we identified.
Yes, that was the main questions which I've been asking myself all the time.
Okay, this we'll have to see that we not forget to tackle this through the platform. Okay, maybe we have, if you want to add something else. I know that you're all very busy, so I would not like to hold you for after 1 o'clock our agenda that we agreed on. So I will put these questions for tomorrow. I would use these next few minutes to discuss some things that I would definitely put out, but then I will see if something else pops up. Before we part, please, for tomorrow, you have a small assignment. It's nothing, you don't have to really write anything, or it's enough for you to have a mental note or a small note it can be on a post-it. So tomorrow we will discuss, we will go into more depth with the functionalities that are needed and some ways the platform should look like. We would like to start actually also by some inspiration. Let's say it's called lightning demos in the sprint design sprint. So I will provide some of the inspiration from also other maybe collaboration platforms, some functionalities from other services, etc. But also please, each one of you, think about it could be one or two maybe products the most. Think about any products or services, or in terms of this project, some applications, functionalities, platforms that you're using. It could be, doesn't have to be at all strictly connected to the industry. It can be outside of industry, something that you use in professionally, but also maybe even personally. So think about some interesting parts of it, something that you would like to add. Maybe from some platform is crappy, but it has a great filtering tool, or it has, or you like how the profile there is set up, or you like maybe it's too complex and not really user friendly, but it has a great way for communication and sharing some info and connecting people. So if you understand what I mean, so something that's inspires you that we can maybe put on a board all together, and maybe we can use it for inspiration for developing our own platform. So don't take, we don't need the bad solutions. We will leave that aside, because we want to be inspired with something that actually works well, or that you like about some tool or app or platform that you already use, or something that you've heard of. So really try to think about, maybe while you have a break, or while you're walking on, or today when you will be using any of the platforms or any of the products or services, mostly here in this sense, probably digital, but does not have to be strictly digital. Okay, so an example could be, I don't know, Trello's functionality of, I don't know, assigning people to different tasks. Just, something that is useful while you are working on a project, or, I don't know, possibility to add comments in an Excel. So it's a functionality that you use and you find it pretty useful in your work. So we'll just put it. Doesn't mean that we will use any of them. Maybe we will use one or two of them, but it's good to have a box of inspiration that we can drag upon. Okay. Any questions regarding that, or you're clear with the homework that you have to think about maybe one or two top two products that we might use?
It's clear.
It's clear.
Yes.
Okay.
It's clear.
And just a simple. So then we will have tomorrow space for you to present this inspiration or functionality or part of the platform or whatever you thought of. So we'll have a minute to explain what it is, and we can put it then on board, and we can use it as an inspiration when we start doing more thorough work on our collaboration platform.
Okay, I want just to add that tomorrow I may join a bit later, respect the 9. I don't know if you want me to send it previously. Probably I can join probably at 9:30 or 10. So.
Ah, okay. Well, maybe if not a problem, you can just share then. You can also use it, the Jamboard that I send there. I will put there a separate board with inspiration. So okay. You can put there, okay? Or anybody else will be just a little bit late, so this is something we will start with. Okay, and then for tomorrow I will pile up the inspiration questions, how might be questions, and then we can also add if there's something new. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much for the collaboration today. I know it might seem like we're not moving anywhere, and it's okay. That feeling is justified in terms of today was not intended to propose any solutions, because we just want to be sure that we gathered as much useful inputs and insights that can be useful for building something that really answers to the needs and to the challenges that we are facing. So just to manage your expectations, that if you're feeling lost and like we talk a lot about something but we didn't propose any solutions, that's all right, and that's exactly how the first day of the sprint looks like.
Okay, feel better now.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Any questions before we part? From your side?
Thank you.
Okay.
See you
I
tomorrow.
wish you all a successful day,
Bye.
and we'll see you tomorrow at 1.
See you.
At 9, sorry.
Bye.
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 Goodbye.
Bye. Bye.